Today I'm going to show you how to play a scale properly all across the fretboard. One thing which I'm asked quite often is if I know each note in each position on the fretboard when I'm improvising. And I think that is an interesting question, and I think every guitar player is different as far as the knowledge of the notes is concerned. For example, there are, might be lots of guitar players which are not familiar with scores and notes. For me personally, I'm coming from a classical piano lesson. I know about scales and notes, but it's definitely not the case that in every situation I'm thinking about the notes. It's more or less some shapes which I learned, which I know where to play. But there are some helpful exercises, and there's one exercise which I would like to show you today, which helped me a lot to be able to play a scale in every position. And I will use the E minor scale, which is the same like the G major scale, but of course it can be applied to any other scale. And I developed an exercise where I'm playing the E minor scale, but I'm constantly shifting the position. So the exercise which I do a lot is, I'll play it slowly for you. That is the figure. Let's turn off the delay. So in this position, I'm starting from the second fret on the E string, which is F sharp. And usually, if you would play the E minor scale in this position, 3 notes per string, then it would go like that. And you end up on the B note on the E string, the 7th fret. But what I do is I'm playing just the 3 notes per string on the lower 3 strings. So this up until the G on the D string. So it's the 5th fret on the D string, and then I'm going down. So that it ends on an even count of notes. And so the figure is this. And then I'm shifting to the next position and start from the A string with the same figure, but staying in the key of E minor. And this position is, it's usually, if you would start the whole position from the low E string, then you would start from G. But here I'm just playing this 3 note per string section over 3 strings, starting from the C, so it's the 3rd fret on the A string. Same idea like before. So all together it's this. And then I'm doing the same thing again, shifting up 1 note to the next position, but starting on the D string, 5th fret, and then shifting up 1 step to the 7th fret on the G string, and then basically it's finished from this position. Then I do the same thing again, starting from the 2nd fret on from the 2nd position on the E string. So this would be the G note. I think now the camera is confused by the light. But that is the idea, and I do this all over the fretboard. Of course, I do it much faster with the metronome. And the only thing is you're shifting after you play the figure once, always. So maybe I can tell you where the shifts are, but maybe you know it already. Shift, shift, shift. So that's it, and you can do this, until you reach the desired speed. And as you can see, you're moving through 3 or 4 different positions, and that's extremely helpful to to connect the positions, because then if you do this, you have to know at least the shapes of the current position you're in the E minor scale. You can do the same with A minor, of course, or with every other scale, but it's way more helpful to do this with these shifts than like staying in one position and play the scale over and over again. Because if you do this, then you know the position, but usually if you are playing a solo, then you don't play the whole position up and down. It's boring. It's more or less you're playing some fragments, maybe fragments of the scale. And then you usually you stay on one note, and then you're in quite another position, where maybe you stay on the C note. And then suddenly you want to start from the C note. So it's definitely important to know at least 1 or 2 fragments of the scale around the position where you currently are. And that exercise helped me a lot to know these know these fragments of the scale in different positions of the fretboard. Because what you do with this, you are basically covering every part of the fretboard with the E minor scale. And another thing which is also important, as you may imagine, you have to do it downwards also, like something like that. Because sometimes when you're improvising, you want to go down somewhere. But the idea is the same, so it's just a figure of with an even count of notes. And I do it with 3 strings. It might be a little bit complicated for some people. So also you can do it with 2 strings. So I think you can develop these exercises also for yourself, and my approach is always to stay on the string where the final note is, and then shift to the next position. So it's basically the position shift that matters. That is the importance of this exercise and the big benefit compared to just playing scales in one position up and down. And as I said, just playing a scale in one position up and down, it doesn't help that much to your playing. That is maybe also the case for pentatonic, for the pentatonic scale, where this idea can also be applied to, of course. But for me, I'm more or less a player of natural harmonic minor scales, and yeah, usually my exercises are based on these scales. And of course, as you may know, the modes are also covered by this. So because the mode is basically the same as a minor scale, but it's just in another position, or you're starting from a different note. So what the result is, if you're doing this very extensively like I do, is if you do it with 3 strings, like in my case, then you build up a knowledge of these 3-string boxes in every position. In this case, in the E minor scale. So, for example, if I'm here in the F sharp, I know exactly which notes are covering the E minor scale in this position, and the 3 strings around this. I'm playing the F sharp on the G string, but I know, for example, this figure, because it's covered in my exercise, just when the F sharp is the starting note. But I also know maybe when the F sharp is the ending note, then it's this 3-string box. And also when the F sharp is somewhere in between, like this or here. Because all of these boxes, I call it boxes for lack of a better word, are covered in the exercise. And yeah, I can recommend this exercise. It's maybe, if you do it with 3 strings like I do, it's a little bit complicated or irritating at first. But it's definitely worth the amount of work you put into this. Because after that, or otherwise before I did this, I was usually stuck within one position more or less when playing, and then I had problems when suddenly I wanted to move to another position. But with these boxes you are learning, you're covering every position, and you will get very familiar with everything. And for that, it's also not that important that you know each note by name, because you're just remembering these 3-string boxes more or less. For example, this. You know, this is one box in the E minor scale, and because you covered it, and you don't need to know that this is the D note and the E note, F sharp, and so on. Of course, it helps a little bit, maybe for some people, but it's not a necessity to know this. So yeah, that is my tip for today for improving your knowledge of the knowledge of the notes in the scale and the coverage of the fretboard. And I hope this helps you. Please post your comments below, subscribe to the channel. See you soon. Bye.